already starting to flow really nicely through the body. Deep inhales, long exhales. Play with especially sending some breath into the belly. Good. So as we're laying here, allowing the body to breathe itself, let's take a moment to connect with an intention for our class today. The intention today is all about connection. Imagining almost like a circuit board, we're trying to connect various parts of the body that maybe kind of need that connection, need that ability to move with other areas. And as I bring up this idea of body connecting various parts, if you've ever seen a map of the meridians in the body, imagine that's kind of what we're trying to help strengthen as we move through our class today. And sometimes the meridians move in different lines that you wouldn't intuitively guess. Like in Western medicine, we don't connect the eye to the liver, for instance. Like those are totally separate functions. But in Chinese, in the meridian system, with the liver meridian, it actually ends at the eye. And again, you wouldn't think so until you get jaundice. You realize, oh, the way to diagnose that is looking at your eyes. So sometimes there's various body parts that you wouldn't necessarily think of, but they're super connected intricately. So imagine we've got this very fancy circuit board going all on inside of us. As we move through class, our idea, our goal is to connect various parts of our body, connect the circuits, sometimes even replacing or upgrading some wires to help everything just feel a little bit better and a little bit more connected. So that's the idea that we're working on today. Internally, just imagine everything is a pattern of everything else. So any work that we do inside also helps with external circuit, connecting us to somebody else. Even if we don't know it, we're helping. Just imagine we're helping the world. And so with that idea of circuits to lead us on, let's start off today. We're rubbing hands together, creating some heat, some friction, some warmth, some energy. As that starts to feel good, place your hands over the eyes. Imagine that energy that we created is starting to supercharge the eyeballs. The eyes are that place where most people have that connection between the external world and the internal world. Imagine energizing that, the vision gets more clear. We'll take 2 more beautiful breaths right here. Good. And after that second exhale, the hands start to fall away. Maybe the eyes stay closed for a little while longer. Nothing wrong with that. We'll start to take the knees into the chest. And begin to have little gentle rocking movements. Chance to tune into the low back and the hips. Maybe the toes are going to do some nice little circles as we're rocking around here. And as we start to release the left leg to the ground, let the right leg take its first stretch up to sky, maybe especially including some of those circular movements for the toes. You'll notice some of the sequences will start off with focusing on the hands and the feet, because if those parts of the circuit are closed off, such as when we clench our fists and don't even realize we're doing it, it makes it so the rest of the circuit doesn't work very well. The hands and feet especially to start feeling good. Beautiful. And from this spot, We're gonna switch it into a happy baby pose. So right hand reaches up for outside of right foot. The knee swivels open. Your choice entirely if you're rocking or just pulling that knee open, staying still. It's whatever feels good. But notice hand and foot touching together. That doesn't always happen as we go through normal life. Usually hand and feet never touch. So we'll have a couple of poses as we move through class where we actually do allow that hand-foot connection to form. Imagine every time it does that, it's like a special circuit that's created. There'll be some new energy flowing that wasn't available before. Good. So take another huge inhale. Exhale. Then as we start to release the hand, we're going to cross our right knee very tightly over the left knee and see if we can grab back on to each ankle or to each foot, kind of recreating that circuit once again. Now it's opposite side hands though, so it's, if you kind of look at it, it's your right leg that's crossing over to go into left hand and vice versa. So with this switching of left over to right and right over to left, it's almost like an infinity loop that's going on in a totally different direction. So notice perhaps that loop and notice how this opens up the hips really nicely. We'll take another huge breath in. And out. Then as we release, the arms spread open, the legs stay crossed as they fall over to the left. Just notice which spots of your body in this kind of circuit, this shape, tend to be speaking to you. Maybe it's higher up into the shoulders and the pecs. Maybe it's a little bit lower down to the back, the hips. Notice how our full, slow breath can absolutely help to connect some of the circuits. Let another full, deep, slow breath cycle flow in. Out. And as hips start to plant back to the ground, with the right leg released down to the floor, left leg up to sky. Feel those nice circles for that left foot. Imagining we're trying to consciously get those circuits to open up. Good. So heading to that happy baby, connect to the hand to the foot. Swing the knee open. Your preference, stillness or rocking. Imagine the circuitry having a new way to flow because of this connection. Another full breath cycle in, out. Let this knee cross tightly over the other as you bring it in. Hands gripping onto the foot or ankles of side that's closest. more breath cycles. Keep the lungs pumping and flowing for those connections. As the arms start to spread open to left and right again, the knees begin to fall all the way over to the right. Notice on this half of the body, if it's the same thing that's speaking to you the most. Your shoulders, pecs, low back, hips. It's one way to note how the left and right halves, sometimes they're telling such different circuit stories, communicating so differently. Just imagine from our class and our help that we're giving the body today, we're helping the left and the right halves to come just a little bit more into balance. Another breath to flow in. Out. Let the knees rise back up. We'll let the legs reach up to the sky and then open out nice and wide. Hands can come to inner thighs to weigh it down. And notice this is a totally new area. We haven't gotten to inner thighs yet in class. So just start to feel how that circuit's doing. Take another huge breath in. Out. Bending the knees, take full happy baby pose. Each hand for each foot. Your choice again, rocking or stillness. As we release, let yourself grab behind the knees. See if you can pump your way up to a seated place. Once we're up, we can take bottoms and feet together. Allow knees to start spreading open. And as we tilt our spine forward, see if you can feel how the hips and the shoulders are connected. So that's circuitry, one affecting the other and vice versa. So especially as the weight of the head drops down really heavy, see if you can feel the back of the neck stretching. Maybe help that neck out by rocking the right ear a little closer to right shoulder. Left ear over toward left shoulder. We drop back down in the center. Give it another 2 breaths. Essentially rolling the spine up. You can allow legs to spread out nice and wide. These can be bent if the hips are pulling you back. Otherwise, straight is fine. Just let yourself start to walk the hands forward, just testing the waters, see how the body feels right now. See how the circuits are connecting. One more good deep breath cycle right here. Sink back in when you're ready. Then we'll start to let both legs swing underneath us. We're going to kneel. From kneeling, we round the spine up to cat, so the back muscles stretch. As we drop the belly down, feel the core, the abdominal muscles stretch. Just let yourself move slowly with your breath up and down, hitting both of those spots a couple of times each. After this current cycle, come back to stillness. Control with the spine. From there, we'll float our right arm up there to the sky. Start to get into that right hand. Let that right wrist do maybe 2 or 3 rolls clockwise and a few counterclockwise. Good, and then start to thread that shoulder all the way down to the ground. Some people wind the left hand around the low back. Some people stretch it all the way up to the top of that. So your preference, whatever feels better. Imagine kind of being able to access or upgrade parts of the circuitry that maybe were previously completely locked off. One more breath in. With your exhale, slide the left hand in front of the face, press into it, and take a nice cat. And cow. Good, back to neutral, left hand reaches up to sky, do a few of those wrist rolls. Maybe even switching direction after the first couple. And we'll thread that shoulder all the way down. Right hand can reach or wrap. One more breath, flow in. Exhale, right hand slides in front of the face, press into it. Or take another cat. Cow. Good, and then I'll start to work through the wrists. What we'll do is begin to rock our shoulders significantly past the fingertips so that we're stretching the wrists. And then we'll rock all the way back to the point where that wrist pressure is completely relieved. So this could be all the way maybe to cobra and maybe back to child's pose, but it doesn't have to be. You'll play with hand sliding in versus sliding out. It changes it. The big thing, whatever you're doing, even if you're just like gently arching the back and then rocking back a little bit, the big thing you want to make sure you feel is the wrist stretch each and every time. So maybe 2 more rounds. Good. When you do finish that second round, we're back to normal kneeling, the wrist right under the shoulders. Then we'll slide the right foot to the back of the mat. The right hand reaches up to sky. And then continue to trace that arm toward the front of the room or to the mirror side so that arm gets a really, really good stretch. Maybe even do a couple of wrist rolls to clockwise and counterclockwise directions. Then wrist back to stillness. Either stay here for a few bonus breaths or try to see if right hand and right foot can connect behind your back. If the circuit completes, push foot into hand to create a little bit of a back bend. Heart arching. Good. So one more inhale. Exhale, release. Right hand and knee drop down. Left leg slides to the back of the mat. Left hand lifts up. Let that left hand reach the front of the room. Maybe a wrist rolls to both directions. And back to stillness. Or left hand and left foot connecting. You find the connection? Create the back bend. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, lowering down. We're going to go straight to down dog. So make sure that you're pushing down through every finger pad and every knuckle. That'll release some of the pressure out of the wrists and spread it across the entirety of the hands. You lift the hips up. Feel free to add movements that just will help open the body. Good. You're going to reach the right leg clear up to the sky. And we're going to step that right foot in between hands. Try to stay on the back toes for now, unless that completely ruins your balance. We're going to try to sweep arms clear up to the sky. Front knees bent, we're on the back toes. We're going to focus on the wrists again. So take the fingers to point to one another. And then exhale, the wrist come down through that flexion. Curl the fingers back, tucking in as far as you can. Inhale up. And then take a few rounds like that. Exhale down. Inhale up. Good. Let's take one more breath cycle. Open the arms to left and right. Let's balance beam. We're going to try to balance on our front straight leg, warrior 3. Dropping hands down, continue to lift up the left leg, standing split. And the feet land, they're on the floor. We're in a standing forward fold, a couple of breaths. Full of legs, the circuitry, especially on hamstrings, getting a chance to elongate, to connect. So inhale, half lift, hands slide up the shins. Exhale, forward fold, hands point to the floor. Travel the feet back. You could choose triangles, otherwise take a flow. We're in chaturanga, up to cobra, and down dog. Good. So left leg starts to reach up to sky. The left foot in between hands. Try to stay with the back heel lifted as you float the arms up. Front knee bent strongly. And turn the fingers in to flex into one another. Exhale down. Curl the fingers in. Inhale up. 2 full cycles like that. Beautiful. Arms open to each side, balance beam. Warrior 3, try to shift our weight over left leg. Lunge drop down. Right leg continues to reach higher and higher, stamping split. Foot drops down, with the spine a chance to completely release down with gravity. And the knees roll the spine upright. And circle the arms up. Thumbs to heart. Left hand will drop down to left thigh. Right hand reaches up and over. Return, switch it out. Good. Rising up. Step your feet a bit wider than the mat. Toes turn out, knees track open. So you can still face forward, that's fine. And we're coming down to like a goddess pose squat. The legs just staying where they are, spine is upright, so tailbone has to be tucked under a little bit. Take the hands to float in front of the heart. Imagine the heart is like the motherboard. So we'll take inhales to the center. Exhale, cross lateral action, push the right hand to the left. Inhale, center, left hand to right, and vice versa. Imagine you're energizing, supercharging the circuitry system. And this cross lateral action is actually really powerful for the brain. The brain likes to stick everything right and left and just work on that side. When we make the body cross right to left, left to right, there's a lot of good things for the brain circuitry. So let's try to do 3 more each. 2, 1. Good. And as we finish, step the feet a little bit closer and we'll play with crow pose. So hands are planting down about as wide as the shoulders, fingers spread super wide. We start to lift up our knees, placing them on the biceps. And sometimes we have a day where we just want to play with this much weight, and that's okay. Other days we tilt forward a little bit more, maybe one set of the toes lifts, maybe pull. Give you a couple of breaths just to play with it. Whatever happens today is great. Whatever balance is happening, 2 more cycles of breath. Good. 1. We come out, roll all the way down to sit on your butt into both pose. Another cross lateral action thing. And again, if you need just to hold on to your boat and that's where you're at, that's beautiful. Nothing wrong with that. If your core is okay with this, take both hands to the right and imagine you're rowing back and left. To another 4 strokes each. 3, 2, 1. Maybe just grab on the boat and stay. If hands are still okay, great. If you can lower down a couple of inches, that's where we'll take it. Just 1 more inhale. Exhale. Come right back up. Grab the ankles, take it directly to cobbler's pose. Spine releasing back forward. Just notice, does your circuit board feel different now than it did at the beginning of class? Maybe it's much more energized. Like sometimes technology has to be warmed up before it'll really run well. Kind of imagine if you close your eyes, even if you've never seen a map of the meridians, just imagine some of those little lines connecting one spot of your body to the next. We rise up, let's let the legs open back out nice and wide. And cross lateral action, right hand plants to the inside of the right leg, left hand reaches up and over. It's not normal for most people to be able to touch hand to the foot, but if you can, that's another moment to create that circuit that we're talking about. Most important though, shoulders stacked. Good. So rise up, left hand down, right hand starts to reach, shoulders stay stacked wherever you get. Inhale, exhale, rise. Let's just test the water, see how we are now compared to earlier, sliding the hands forward. Good, and as we come back in, sometimes it's fun to go back to kneeling through this way. We curl the knees, our ankles in, they're very tucked, and then we just roll over onto hands and knees. So when you get there, feel free to take a nice tap. Cow. And let's lift right back up, downward facing dog. Make sure the fingers are spread and pressing. So the hips lifting up as high as possible. We'll float our right leg here up to sky. Right foot steps in between hands. Cross lateral action. Right hand tries to float its way up to the sky. And as the hand comes down, both hands are on the inside of the front foot. The back heel rotates down to the ground. We're set up to cartwheel into warrior two. So left hand circles all the way up and then right hand follows. Warrior two, front knee is bent, keep the knee tracking open, toes pointing forward. Good. So from here, working a little bit more into the circuitry of the feet, let's lift up the front heel. And lower it. Extended side angle, front elbow down, the other arm reaching. You get into the stretch, make sure you're looking at something that's not moving. And then lift up front heel. And lower it. Warrior two. Reverse, left hand to left leg. Front hand up and back, keep the front knee bent. Maybe the front heel lifts. And lowers. Back up, warrior two. And then turn your body to this long edge of the mat, toes turning up to 45-degree angles. We're already in that same goddess squat that we were before. Hands toward the heart. This time, if at all possible, we're trying to lift the heels the whole time. So inhale, exhale, cross lateral push. Inhale. Good. And 3. 2. 1. Good, heels down, toes turn along edge, legs straighten, drop down. You choose the hand position for this one. Hand can be under you, in your elbows, on the ankles, reaching through. Lots of options. Choose one that helps your circuitry the best. Let's bend the knees, roll our way up. Pivot both heels to face forward, probably even shorten stand, so back heel is all the way down, hips are all the way forward. Keep the front leg straight as we slide down toward pyramid. So it's okay if you end up at the thigh, shin. You don't have to go to the floor, especially if that makes the front knee bend. Keep it straight and set. Bend the knees, roll your way up to stand. And as your weight shifts onto that front right foot, grab the left foot behind your back. You do want to be on a quad stretch for the left side. So if you don't feel that, scoop the tailbone under and forward, that'll get you there, or pull the knee further back. Good. So for some people, this balance right here is plenty of work. So you're welcome to just stay here a couple of breaths. I have a bonus challenge for anybody who wants it. You do not have to. The idea is keeping the hand-foot connection as you go down toward half moon. So it's the right hand that's going to plant wider than the mat off to the right. Whenever it plants, if it does, then start to stack the hips and pull your spine open toward a heart open. Good, 10 deep pose. Good, so wherever we are, take another inhale. Exhale, release down into a forward fold. Now half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step walker, jump back, child pose or close, fine. Your choice. The down dog shape, float leg up to side. Step left foot in between hands. Left hand float up. Comes to the inside of the front foot, back heel rotates to plant. Cartwheel up, direct to warrior two. Front heel lifts. And lowers. Extended side angle. So you're gazing at something that's not moving. It could be up for some people, down for some people. Front heel lifts. And lowers, warrior two. Reverse. Front heel lifts. And lowers, warrior two. Turn open goddess, hands to heart. Heels lift, one more time. Inhale. Exhale, cross lateral push. 3, 2, 1. Heels down, straighten the legs, turn toes forward. Find a good circuitry option for your hands. You lower down. And the knees roll up. Rotate on the hips and heels to face forward, pyramid. Your hips are all the way with you before you start to go down. Keep the front leg straight. knees to roll up. So we shift our weight onto the left, grab the right. Make sure you feel the quad, so scoop tailbone under if you're not there. There's nothing wrong with staying and enjoying that quad stretch. Let torque to kidney in, left hand. That's wider than the mat. Stack the hips, stack the shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, drop down, forward fold. Sit the hips back, like we're about to sit in a chair. Sweep the arms up by the ears. Pick those up. And down. Clasp hands behind your back. Keep the knees bent as you bow forward into the shoulder stretch. Dropping hands to floor, maybe like straighten a little bit. Half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, travel back. Flow if you'd like. Child pose is also fine. Wrap up, we'll end up on knees. Tucking all 10 toes. We'll start to set a little bit of weight back to stretch out our feet after all the work they've done. So some people can only handle it if their hands are still on the floor. Some people can bring whole weight up over the legs. So it's whatever your feet are happy with today. If you need to make it easier, come more forward. We'll let ourselves just take some slow, deep breaths. If it ever gets too hard, come a little bit more forward. Still okay? 3 more breaths. Facing forward, we can circle the feet or pound the feet out. Good. We'll head to pigeon pose, right leg forward. This can be done through kneeling or through down dog, your choice. Right leg is up forward, back knee scoots back. Keep the sacrum level as we drop down. So the feet circuitry just completely released, completely relaxed. It's almost like we just opened up a huge pocket of energy. And now kind of imagine you can feel that energy starting to travel up to other parts of the legs. Maybe it was intense for a little while, but now it just is spreading out in a good way. Just slow down the breath. 2 more cycles. Finish that last one. Come to kneeling or to down dog. Let the hips shift around a little bit. Left side coming through when you're ready. circuitry. How is it connecting right now? Or slow cycles. Or we finish that second one. Your choice of the recovery posture, kneeling or down dog. Just let the hips wiggle around a little bit. Eventually coming all the way down to a seated place. When we're there, we'll cradle on our right leg and give it 3 good rocks or so. Just letting that hip ease its way deeper. Making the seated spot more comfortable. When that feels pretty good, you can drop it to cross leg, shin stack, or knee stack. Only go as far as you can easily keep both sitting bones down with no necessary use of hands. So wherever that is, open up the arms, then let the right arm cross over your body. Left hand hugs it in, pulls it into that shoulder stretch. Sometimes I'll even tilt my head away from the shoulder stretch to deepen it. Huge inhale, both arms open. Exhale, left arm hooks. Open. Find the floor, ease forward just a couple of breaths. The circuitry that's being replaced or upgraded. Rising up, right leg will be down, so we can give 3 or so good rocks to the left hip. Eventually ending with cross leg, shin stack, or knee stack, whatever. Let this side work with both sitting bones down. Let's open out. Left arm crosses the body, pull it in. With inhale, exhale, right arm. Open. The floor is forward. Rise up, drop it to a comfortable seated position. We'll wrap up with a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing, helping to clear any last weird energy out of left and right channels. So on the right hand, your pointer finger and your middle finger tuck down, and then you'll alternate between blocking off the right nostril with that thumb, and then blocking off the left nostril with the ring fingers, back and forth. So without anything, take a normal inhale. Exhale. Plug off the right, inhale left. We switch to exhale. So switch the grip, exhale right. Exhale right. Switch to exhale left. Exhale left. Switch to exhale right. Exhale left, or right, sorry. Switch to exhale left. I'll guide through one more round. Inhale left. Switch to exhale right. Exhale right. Switch to exhale left. If you'd like to continue a few more rounds, you're welcome to. If you have any other stretches you want to do, this is the point where you could take any of those last stretches for your body. It's all up to you what we're doing until Shavasana time, sooner or later. Some of us will naturally be ready for Shavasana sooner than others, that comfortable laying down posture. If you get into it, even if it's before others, one recommendation I have to try out today is rub your hands together again, getting that warmth, that heat, that energy. Once you've done that, to let your hands find a spot to hover. So maybe it's back over your eyes like the start. Maybe it's over heart, belly, or some other place. Allowing that energy to just flow to that area. Depending on how comfortable that spot is for you, maybe you stay with all of Shavasana, that hand position, or maybe after a few breaths, the hands fall away, resting to floor. It's all up to you. We're starting to head back out, taking the inhales, exhales. Introduce little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Actually take a nice fetal position off to one side. Doing maybe 2 or 3 last breaths in this comfortable position. Sooner or later, you feel ready to rise. So as hands start to join together in front of the heart, take note of the circuitry now internally, perhaps new connections fortified or created, and perhaps circuitry outside of us as well. Maybe there's been a thought during class of someone that we should reach out to today. So whether that focus at this moment is more external or more beautifully internal, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.